What about this then? So when CGS actually happened, what was your status then? Because the weird thing about CGS was, aside from the fact that because it was really just about marketing and big names, like half the bloody good Source players didn't even get to play, even though the game was Source. They just brought all these 1.6 players that some of them never even played Source. But even worse, like, it just became the ultimate politics fest because it wasn't just players picking out, it was the GM who obviously were people who were players from the scene. So the problem is, basically, unless one of those GMs likes you and is your friend, like, you could just be completely left out in the cold. So that happened to a lot of good players. So did you want to play, did you want to keep being a pro and transition?
So there was one. We were the last team to transition because Dolvin, who later became one of the GMs, promised, like, we were really getting pretty good at 1.6, and we were promised, a lot of sponsors or like hopefully coming sponsors and stuff. And so we were the last team to transition, and we were, it kind of showed, right? Other teams were months and months ahead of us, and like we would scrim, and it's like, oh, it's kind of rough. We even went to the combine, and it's like we got destroyed pretty good. And Fear was kind of, he was pretty anti-Source. And you would play, every time we'd play, like a lot of us, even though we were like far behind, we'd be like, okay, let's, we're going to push through this. What's the solution to what just happened right there? And Fear would be like, oh, fucking Source can't even shoot through all these fucking, who the fuck is Mo? Why the fuck is Mo beating us? And he had that mindset that you were talking about before of these people that were tier 2, tier 3. And I remember cutting Johnny Fear before CGS, and it was like definitely one of the hardest things to do. I remember like Trophy calling him like, Johnny, I gotta let you go, bro. And so Source happened, and obviously Mark Dolvin was one of our GMs, was one of the GMs that got to pick the teams. And like I said, it was all politicking. We pretty much knew ahead of time, even though we didn't perform at all, that we were gonna get picked up. There were
most teams, as far as I remember, basically ignored the results of the combine. They didn't really give a fuck. If they were going to sign you, we were going to sign you, right?
Yeah, there was. I mean, everyone pretty much knew who was getting picked up, except for the teams that weren't getting picked up. They were like, "Oh yeah, these people are getting picked up."
Exactly.
And there were good teams. There were better teams than us at the time for sure. The U5 team with Fugs, Han, Habibi, Keen. That team for sure was better. It should have got picked up. Should have got picked up over a lot of teams. There were a lot of ones. There was a team with Disciple and a couple other guys that should have got picked up. Team with Funshine, I remember. These are, like I said, it was 100% politicking, and kind of sucks for them, but that's just how it was.
Does that imply like you actually were able to embrace Source? Did you like the game? Was it fun in a different way?
Actually, Source is another. It ignited the fire under me again. It was one of those games where it's like, for me, it's just it was the same game, but it was a whole new game. I mean, you couldn't spam through walls. There was bunny hopping, which was a huge theme. The smokes, the way they were,
they were like CS:GO type. They were way bigger and they stayed like way stronger, right? Than
and you could sit.
1.6 ones were like flaky. Some of them didn't work, etc. Right?
And Source, and you could sit in them, like, so you'd throw smoke down, you sit in it, and you could see out of it. And so that was a huge difference. There was a head glitch that everyone would abuse, where you keep on crouching up and down, and they wouldn't see your head, and you would see theirs.
Did you think, this is just a personal question, do you think the spray was easier? I always thought that felt a bit easier to sort of like spray the cult, etc.
Oh yeah, the whole game was a little easier. It felt a little more CSGO, where the scene was,
Agreed.
And the opping, you wouldn't get as punished. Opping was just, if you're an opper in Source, that was just, you were a god.
They were all the best players, basically,
Yeah. So yeah, it was a hard transition, but I honestly liked the transition. We end up grinding it and end up being one of the best teams in the world, I thought. And the whole bunny hopping, I turned that kind of into a meme, that I would bunny hop so fast. I'd just spend my whole day trying to bunny hop, and they tried to ban bunny hopping in CGS, but every single team had to get it up. And I still remember, like, 3D Moto would come up to me. It's like, hey guys, we're going to try to ban bunny hopping. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, Dave. What are you doing? What are you asking me this shit for? At that time, we were a little more friendly towards each other. It wasn't as like a thing. And obviously, I respect Dave a lot. It's not like going forward, I still have like a hatred for him. But at the time, obviously, there was a huge rivalry.
Sure. Right, well, this is the question then. It sounds like you might be one of the few, but listen, a lot of people were sad CGS died because their career died, and obviously it was like, it was more money for everyone. Everyone used to famously, like, the salary was like 25k a year, just salary before prize money.
Oh, yeah.
But the issue is this. most of them, quite frankly, most of the CSGO, CS 1.6 players who played Source, they all just told me, even during CGS, like, I don't like the game as much, but if it's the only game that's available and I'm on TV and maybe this will be huge. So I know most of them, they were just devastated because the opportunity went, but some of them were even like, whatever, I didn't care about Source anyway. And they either retired or a couple of them went over to 1.6, people know. If you actually liked the game, it must have been doubly brutal when the whole league just shut down, right?
Oh yeah, it was pretty brutal when the league shut down. I mean, we were... I think we got third, or we placed second in the first World Finals and third in the second. So I mean, we were like our whole team in general, like our, how it was a DOA. We had the different kind of players. We were like all like really, really good friends, and just all, competing and drove each other to be better. And so for us, it was like we were loving it, living in Venice Beach. For Rival, that's kind of like the dream, and. Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. Like you said, and the drive of the Pandemic crew of like Daff and them, we were all like driven to push and get better. And like you said, a lot of the other guys in 1.6, like, oh, fucking Source, like, what is this? This isn't Counter-Strike. And we would be like, oh, the grind time. And we really wanted to be the best. So.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.